Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope that you are doing well. Listen, I wanted to come on and just share something real brief that's a follow-up from last night's conversation about stop seeking validation to do what God has told you to do. One of the things that came up during that conversation was, how do I know that it was God that told me to say something? And we talked about that. But for those of you who have said that God has told you to do something, listen, there are two things. There are two markers. There are two things that will be evident anytime that the Lord has instructed you to do something and you are following those instructions. Number one, it will have fruit. What do I mean by that? It's going to produce something, right? It's going to have fruit. Number two, it's going to be sustainable. What do I mean by that? It won't be here and gone tomorrow, but it shall sustain. But I also want to address this. There are some times where God has told us to do something and it's lacking fruit and it's lacking sustainability. Whenever that happens, listen, sometimes the reason is it's not because of the Lord. You must always go back to, am I following the instructions God has given me? Have I given up prematurely? Have I compared myself with other people, and am I trying to be like others? And so I wanted to come on here really quickly this morning. God's instructions will always follow. There will be fruit. There will be sustainability, right? And so it will produce. It will grow. It will bear fruit. It's going to have some weight to it. It's going to produce something. It will have an effect. Whoever the audience is, it will have an effect. Whoever it's meant for, it will have an impact, right? There's going to be fruit associated with that thing, and it will be sustainable. It won't be here and gone tomorrow. It will have an enduring effect. Listen here. Here's the caution. There are things that God would have you to do only for a season, and that thing is for a season. When that season has come to an end, it will dry up. Why? Because the season has come to an end. And so there are so many things that I'm sharing with you that may cause a person to say, well, how do I know what God is telling me to do? Listen, you must know the voice of God for yourself. We talked about it last night. You must develop an intimate walk with the Lord. That means draw close to him, give him your attention, seek him, turn your face toward him, walk with the Lord, talk with the Lord, allow him to lead you and guide you. You may make mistakes, as we talked about. It's a part of the journey. But the thing is, when we make mistakes, we learn from those mistakes. We get up. We recognize, man, last time I thought that was you, Lord, but I realized that was me. I've learned. Last time, God, it was you, but I didn't follow exactly what you said. I've learned. I've grown from that. It was you, God, but I gave up. I quit. I stopped prematurely. I did not endure. I've learned. And so, listen, there is no a formula for this thing other than you must walk closely with the Lord. Allow him to lead you and to guide you. And the closer you get to him, the more you will understand and know his leading, his prompting. You'll hear his voice and you'll know when it's him. And you will also develop what we talked about last night, a resolve to do the will of the Father in a way that, you know what, you're not going to quit. You're not going to throw in the towel. And so I just wanted to come on here and just drop that little tidbit. I was thinking about that on my way to work. There will be fruit and there will be sustainability when you are following the instructions of the Lord. Why? Because God wants you to succeed. He wants you to prosper. He wants you to have longevity in whatever it is that he's assigned you to. He doesn't want you to be embarrassed and to fail. Listen, God will use those failures. Yes, he will. He will use those embarrassments. Yes, he will. He will use all of it for his glory. But if we would get close to him, you see that close, that we can hear his voice. We learn the difference between my feelings and what he's speaking. We learn the difference between when it's my thoughts and it's him speaking. Because sometimes our thoughts are really what's tripping us up. Sometimes it's our thoughts that's getting in the way. Sometimes it's our thoughts that cause us to do things that don't necessarily line up with the instructions that the Lord has given. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.